Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Friday. So pumped to be here with everyone today here on LinkedIn Live, and we'll do some introductions. But Josh, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing well. I'm glad it's Friday. I'm sure everyone in the chat is saying this as they're hopefully wrapping up some emails and wrapping towards the weekend, but it's good.
Yeah, 100%. So obviously, purpose of our time today is talking about how we can do more with less in the BD space and marketing space for AEC. And before we dive into that, Josh, let's just do some introductions. You can go first, and I can,
Yep.
back clean up here in a second.
Yeah, absolutely. So everyone that's here, I'm Josh Cramer. Great to meet you. I'm on the Unanet team here. I spend the bulk of my time with our customers. So I'm going to weave some of that in as we talk about things today. I've been with Unanet about 8 months now. They brought us on board as we're building out this proposal tool for the marketplace. So I love it. I've loved to interact with the customer we've had. And I've spent the entire bulk of my career in some form or facet always touching proposals. So when AI came to the space, I jumped on it. So I'm definitely looking forward to sharing some of those best practices today. But again, I'm Josh, and I'm on the Unanet side.
Awesome.
Back to you, Lucas.
Yeah, man. You've been running around a little bit lately. What cities have you been in the past 2 or 3 weeks?
Yeah, our team is. I spent the bulk of last week in New York, which was awesome.
Nice.
Got to work with quite a few of our clients in the building space.
Yep.
Really cool to not only see the buildings. Of course, everyone's been in New York. It was cool for me. I'm from Pennsylvania. I live in Virginia now, so it's cool to see New York. But it was also cool to meet all the clients that are not only looking at new tools to help kind of improve their processes, but really turn around and apply it to their really cool projects. And again, I'm kind of like awestruck when I come in and see all the pictures on their walls of like, yeah, we built that and we did this and we did this with Madison Square Garden. So it was really cool for me as an experience of coming onto Unanet, getting to see what our customers do, but then really importantly, kind of see where tools and things are able to help those folks. It was great. Great spending the time last week in New York.
That's awesome.
What about you? Didn't you have a conference last week?
I did. Yeah, I've been running around a little bit. This week I was in Atlanta doing some strategy stuff with our product teams. And then the week before I was at PSMJ Innovate, which was really fun. Obviously AI was, kind of front and center at that conference, but got to hang out with a bunch of customers and prospects alike. And it just was really fun to have some good conversations surrounding like the ways that people are thinking about innovation, how they're innovating, things like that. And man, I'm with you. Like every time I was in Chicago, was it last year? I did like the river tour.
Yep.
And it was so fun because like you do the river tour and Chicago's focused on architecture, big architectural city. And like along the river tour, the guide is like naming architects that like designed and built, this building and that building. And I was like, oh, I've worked with them. With them. It's just so cool. So yeah, I'm with you on that. And then real quick, if people are new to Unanet, if you haven't heard of us, we've been in the AEC space for about 20 years, coming up on 2,000 customers or just over. And we focus squarely on helping you run your projects better, from the finding and winning phase of those projects all the way through executing, monitoring, accounting for, doing all the project accounting for those projects as well. And again, just to kind of bring us back to home base here, today we're really focusing in on that kind of find and win part of your project. So your opportunity phase, your pursuits and proposals, and how AI, new technology, is helping firms do more with less in that space. And Josh, it's funny, I was telling you earlier, I was looking at the Inspire report, and there's a couple of really interesting trends going on in AEC, and would love your perspective on this as well. But so in the report this year, we saw very clearly that firms are moving towards a growth mindset. And where I saw that was really kind of in 2 places. One was in like change of staff size. We saw a fundamental shift towards like higher levels of year-over-year change. So, a lot of firms growing upwards of 20% year over year, some even reporting that they were seeing an increase of more than 20% year over year in staff size. And the same trend was kind of happening in terms of change of revenue. So a lot of people, upwards of 10%, which is pretty normal. I mean, it's definitely healthy, but normal for the industry. But I saw 25%, sitting in that like upwards of 20% growth, and then about 10% that are even growing in terms of revenue, even higher than 20% year over year, which is amazing.
Yeah, I think, and one thing I'd include in there, Lucas, and I think I kind of look at it through two lenses. Like, obviously, there's a lot of opportunity to do a lot of new projects across the board for a lot of these firms. But I think competition is becoming really, really heightened. I think a lot of times, regional firms really knew their one or two competitors that they mess with in the regional space. But I think now more firms are looking across broadly of like, where else can we support? Where can we grow? And that comes to that headcount growth of like, we need to bring in the right people to grow these things. If we just keep swinging kind of our sweet spot over and over, that kind of looking left and right and really qualifying new opportunities, I think we're just going to kind of stay the way we are. And if we stay the way we are, you're eventually going to decline, right? So I think that growth suite definitely makes a lot of sense of like, we need to invest in the resources that help us win that more work.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to throw this one up there just because I think it's interesting and sort of speaks to what you're saying is you're 100% right. Like BD teams are looking to AI to solve that. Like, how do we go out and capture the opportunity that's in front of us? But how do we do that in a way that's scalable, where we're not having to, outpace our indirect headcount versus, direct headcount, things like that. And when we look at AI in the space, BD and marketing is like center of the bullseye here for what AEC firms report they're planning to do with AI. So just kind of walking through this, about half of the industry is already using AI in some capacity today for BD and marketing, whereas another third, to bring us up to 75%-ish, plan to in the next 12 months. The only laggard or lagging trailing here is about 20% have no plans or say they have no plans in the next 12 months. And you're absolutely right. Like, as competition for new work heats up, like this starts to become a differentiator just from like what kind of volume can we pursue, and what kind of quality can we pursue that volume with, and people are looking at AI to do that.
Yeah, I think one of the things too that I think kind of at the strategic level, yes, it's very growth driven, but I also think it's a benefit to the quality of life of the people. I made this joke in one of our client sessions last week. I'm like, these tools, people haven't seen new technology in this space since like Word. They're like, hey, I don't have to write these proposals anymore. I can now put it in Word. And that was 30 years ago, and now AI comes in and helps a lot. And these business development marketing rules, they're hard. And you ask anybody at any conference, like it's a hard job. Unpredictable release schedules, unpredictable timelines that they have to respond to. By bringing in tools like AI to help do a lot of that upfront grunt work, you're actually improving that quality of life of that employee on your team, and then you retain them for longer. Because everybody knows if you have a quick turnover in your marketing department, they don't learn what makes you guys unique and how to position you best for winning. So by having AI help enable that in terms of finding the right ops, where to spend your time. Cool. So if I'm going to put in a lot of work, I'm going to do it with an op that I'm going to win, and then have AI help with a lot of process pieces. I'm not surprised to see that people are trending. I'm surprised that say 20% would say I've got no plans. I'm hoping that's more on the field business development reps that are like, I don't need that. I got my relationships, and hopefully that mindset will change. But definitely from that marketing level of like, hey, this can really improve how I do my day to day. I can be more strategic. It'd be crazy not to kind of add it into that stack, into your stack as you continue to grow your organization.
Yeah, totally. And it's funny because I was just flipping through this to find my charts, but yeah, that's the sentiment that I'm hearing from the industry today is that they want AI to amplify existing staff. So how can we, take our staff across the board and just essentially like maximize their relationships, amplify their capacity for what they can do, help them do their work better. Which is really cool. So, from a Unanet perspective, we looked at these kind of prevailing trends, and we started asking ourselves the question, like, how can we partner with our firms to leverage AI to provide tangible value to these things? And we met with our customer advisory board. This would have been we just met a couple months ago, but 12 months prior to that, we met. and ask that question, like, hey, where in your business, where in your processes can we leverage AI to bring value? And we heard very clearly that there were kind of two places very specifically, and they all sat in this kind of proposal life cycle, particularly around early stage pursuits, like when if you hear of an opportunity over a business lunch or what have you, and you just have a little bit of information, maybe like who's doing it and what it is. How can we as Unanet provide better insights earlier in that kind of lead stage process, such that you can kind of like weed out the noise before you commit resources to like investing in the pursuit. And then the second area was, how can we spend less time on our proposals but still keep like the volume of proposals at, where it is? Because in the past few years, I've heard firms talking about like tripling the number of proposals they're submitting. But the thing I haven't heard a change in is like the win rate on those submittals. And we were kind of talking about that earlier. And so when we kind of dig in under the hood to those two processes, first one being like early stage pursuit. So we know like you discover the lead, you start gathering intel, you have some kind of go, no go in place, whether that be formal or informal, hopefully more formal. Actual submittal, and then the outcome, win or loss. And to me, the problem in that early stage is that 70% of dollars, resource and investment that are put into chasing those pursuits, only 70% of those are actually won. So how can we make better decisions on what we're pursuing earlier? And then on the proposal side, if we kind of look at that process, it's, I hate the analogy, but kind of like death by 1,000 cuts. Like there's all of this time being put into all of these different little pieces of that proposal process. And at the low end, I would say, especially in competitive proposals, there's about 30 hours spent, say, on average per proposal. The RFPs, like the number of RFPs that we're responding to, are increasing year over year. The average right now is like 250 plus. And then, as we talked about earlier, this might be slightly inflated, but at least people are reporting a 52% win rate across the AEC. And when we look at that, time to value and the effort it takes to do a proposal, we started thinking about like, well, what if we could start every proposal 70% already done? And Josh, this is kind of where we want to spend most of the rest of our time. We're tackling the pursuit, the early stage pursuit problem with what we've just released in Opportune AI, which gives you insights on, have we done good work with this client before? Do we have the right to win in this space based on our similar projects? Who are we going to be competing against? Is it worth our time and investment pursuing this? But from the proposal perspective, we're really excited about Proposal AI and being able to both interact with our past proposals, learn and ask questions about what we're good at, how to position things, and then also kind of really supercharging, if you will, and streamlining the process of writing the proposals. And so I'm going to stop my share and really hand it over to you, Josh. Tell us a little bit about Proposal AI, what we're looking to solve, challenges that you're hearing, things like that. I'll stop my share.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it does fit really nicely to that kind of upfront piece that you said, Lucas, was like, and I kind of always tie it back to kind of an employee kind of satisfaction in the role. Well, I think selfishly, Unanet does a great job of it, but I think in these roles, they can be really challenging. And if I'm getting a lot of opportunities that aren't good fits, and I've got to go put my 30 to 200 hours to it, when I know we're not ahead of it, we've not met the customer, we know we're got a good competitive landscape, it gets discouraging, right? And it's like, hey, like we're not winning at the rate we want to. So really having that upfront piece plays really well into what AI can do on the proposal side, because then when you're confident in the ops that you're with, then you're like, cool, this might take me some time, but now I know we're in a good position after this opportunity, and now I've got AI to help me do fun, like the unfun things. Cool. Like now I really want to win this thing. And what we try to do is, and I'm going to show off some of the platform here for everybody here in a sec. But what we really try to do is have AI do the things that it realistically can do. And I think if we've ever been at an event for people that are on this call, I always make the joke, 4-button clicks and a perfect gold draft. And everybody laughs and laughs because we know that's not real. But it's good at really good at certain things like shredding an RFP, building outlines, mapping for compliance, and of course content, which we'll talk about as well. But I think where we are really focusing on the Unanet side is not only informing that decision and developing great content, but also where can we deploy AI in what are normally business processes that a human has to do to make it a lot more efficient for them. And what I've been telling everyone is we all know marketing people and proposal professionals can write. We know you want to win and you want to spend your time not filling the piece of paper, but really starting from that 70% done draft and really refining it and getting it up there. So that's kind of how we view it. I'm going to click present. I'm going to start to share my screen here to kind of show off some of the things that we've got in our platform. But I think, really, if you've met us before, Unanet, I think we've got a really good beat on what's realistic with AI. And why that is because we've pressure tested what it can do. We've seen it fail. We've seen it struggle. We've seen it, make things up. And we're like, okay, for us, when it's helping and augmenting business processes, let's make sure it doesn't do those things. Let's make sure our clients are able to shred an RP much faster and things like that. So all right, let's hop into the platform. I want to show that off to everybody here. I can see that it's live on the screen, which is awesome. So of course, we know AI tools do a great job with content. Obviously, I tell everybody, and anyone that's listening as a marketing professional knows this. If you're letting ChatGPT write it and you're copy and pasting it in, or whatever tool you're using, it's probably not going to be a great output. It still needs you, the expert that knows how to win this thing, to really get their eyes on the content. But it does a great job of reading reference content, pulling it forward, writing to a new requirement, and things like that. So our tool at Unanet absolutely does those things. But we also view it helping in steps of the workflow as well, as I mentioned. Really, that first one here, what you're looking at on the screen here, of course, is a demo environment, but we see it doing 5 key things across the proposal workflow. First is really what is in this RFP. We all know, Thursdays, I think it's Friday today, so hopefully no one on this call has gotten them already. Usually get procurement offices kick them out Thursday so they can take Friday off, or they kick them out Friday afternoon. And all of a sudden you got 3 or 4 opportunities on your plate and you're like, well, I don't have time to read all these. Like, how am I going to go through this? AI is really great in ingesting that information. So then that way, not only are you able to see the information come in, but you're also able to then query across that. Like, when is this proposal due? And I'll even tuck one in live. Is this proposal due? Or what are the eval criteria? Or what do I need to submit in terms of project references? Things like that. So AI is really great at shredding through that RFP. And making sure that you don't have to do the manual Control F to find information, but also give you answers back to whatever you're looking for with an audit trail back to where it read it from. So you're never worrying about it making things up or guessing. All that is tied in there. So really kind of the first piece we see AI helping with is shredding and parsing that RFP.
Hey, Josh, I'm just going to address the question that Mary just submitted. Hey, Mary, glad you're on here with us. So no, you do not have to have Unanet CRM to use Unanet Proposal AI. So just easy, direct question or direct answer there. So yeah, that's the great thing is that this, while it can benefit from, what you've been kind of building out in Unanet CRM, you do not have to have Unanet CRM to leverage this. So thanks for the question.
Yeah, and that's great. And I think that's one of the cool things about Unanet. And again, I don't want to plug Unanet maybe because I'm a new employee. Of course, I'm saying it a lot. Very understanding of where the customer is at. And you guys can configure based on where you are and just plug in the tools you need. All right, so second piece, shredding an RFP, awesome. No more Control F in a PDF, having to hunt for certain things. It's really talking about how you differentiate from your competition. We call it the solutioning step. So think of the tool now. Now it's going to go read the RFP, saying, okay, we know what's in the RFP. Not kind of what are the 180 task areas you have to do or requirements. What are the main things that's going to separate company A from company B? And a procurement office is going to be like, cool, I got 2 proposals. How do I tell the difference between the 2? We think, again, AI is awesome in pulling up, kind of figuring out what are those key elements. But then we always keep the human in the loop to make sure not only are we answering the requirement of whatever, the key area is, but also tell the story of why it benefits the customer. Any proposal professional or marketing professional knows that's the most important thing they want to read. It's like, I don't care that you're the world's best this, you're the world's best that. What are you going to do for me? And in our view, when we use AI for this is read that solicitation, find those key areas So that way, when we actually go to write the content, we can then theme that all the way through in that content. So that way it always knows why we're really good at managing projects, or we don't have cost overruns, things like that. So we use it for that in what we call our solutioning step. Now, for those of you guys that build proposals by hand, maybe you love building outlines. I never have. Outlines take way too long. I've always built those compliant outlines where I put the requirements under, I put the compliance items under. Usually took me between 4 and 8 hours for the size of the outline. Right now, though, we use AI to absolutely do this for a user. They have full control over what they see, but it's always going to build the outline based on the solicitation. It takes about 5 minutes. So for me, happy to trade off my hours of work for about 5 minutes worth of the tool doing work. And it's not just headers or anything like that. All these open up for a user to actually be able to build specific content in there. Obligations, think prompts. We always pull from a baseline of knowledge out of your knowledge base, so it's never going to make up fluffy content. It's always going to learn from you and use that. And then if there's applicable compliance item, then it's going to pull those in before it writes to anything. So let me open up where there's got a compliance item. Compliance is always key. We want you guys to not only be able to design the content the way you want it to pull forward the information from your knowledge base to use correctly, but also meet compliance along the way. And in here, that's where we're using AI to do is build me the outline based on the solicitation. I don't want to lose control over it, but I want you to build out the outline. Absolutely do that in here. Then I want to design the content the way I want it to. So that way, if I'm using AI or not, I'm still getting the same results I want. Then, of course, mapping in all those compliance pieces there. Then there's really only 2 more buttons. We'll show that off there, and we'll open up, of course, for questions. But I just want to give everyone a peek in kind of what it looks like inside, how we're using AI. Kind of that last piece then is that outline and that really kind of compliance check of once I move from the outline, okay, did I capture all my compliance items? You can simply click in without having to go back to the doc, see exactly where in the doc it had read that information, and then know where you put it in your outline. And then if the content's written, be able to read your exact content to make sure, hey, not only did I meet these compliance items, here's where I met it in the outline, and here's where I met it in the exact text. So that way a user doesn't have to go back and build a compliance matrix from scratch or something like that. You can do that all within the tool here. Which is what AI is really good at. And then lastly, landing in the right area. For us, this is where we view the AI does the work to build the paragraphs, the sections, the outline, the content, but we really know the importance of that human in the loop. This is a free text editor. A human's able to come in, tweak things, change things as they see fit. We still want the control inside the human's hands, just getting that kind of baseline started or the content built using an AI engine. But again, letting you marketing professionals turn around and say, okay, here's exactly what I want to do with this. Yeah, I want to tweak this. Or maybe Lucas gave me something last second. I want to drop it in. You still have full control over that inside the platform. So along with content, Unanet definitely views AI as an enabler along business processes, really across those 5 areas you see across the top here.
Yeah. Josh, another question that was kind of in the queue and coming across here. Hey, Lisa. So when you say knowledge base, do you mean like a knowledge module or like previous proposals? And so when we talk about knowledge, what we're talking about is your kind of best in class previous proposals. And what's really cool about this, Josh, and I don't want to put you too much on the spot, but not only can you just quickly upload your past proposals, but you can then start learning from them, asking natural questions of them, the classic one is like, hey, how many square feet, have we done of XYZ? Like, as opposed to pulling, a seller doer or project manager off of their projects or, waiting on an email response or what have you, you can just query Proposal AI. And it's right there for you. So great question, Lisa. And Josh, if it's not too much on the spot, do you mind digging into that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So we all know that everyone loves to use commercial chat tools. So that knowledge module is very much your knowledge base. If you have the Unanet CRM, pull in from the Unanet CRM or your past proposals. And we tell everyone, don't worry about the winners, right? People lose on things like price and they write a great proposal. We want the best content in there. So that way the engine can learn from it and then use it across the board. So we also got an embedded chat as well for anyone. We call it kind of the AI workspace where a user can come in, query any information like they would a commercial chat tool, and of course get kind of a peek into not only what are the answer for what they're putting in, but we also like to expose what the AI is doing. So at any time it gives you an answer back, it's going to say, hey, here's where you read it from your knowledge base. It'll say these exact projects that you read through. And we also like to expose the brain. We don't, at Unanet, we're, big proponent of, you need to know what's going on to get the answers that you're getting. You want to improve your prompting and your questions. We include all that in there for the user, so you can see that as well. So exactly what Lucas said. You can ask very specific questions, very high-level questions. Once you've got that knowledge base in, and again, wherever that sits, it's got to come into the platform at some point, so the platform reads it and then can reuse it. You can get granular on the square footage. Well, do I have project people that are available to support this? Who's my best fit based on these project specs, things like that, and really let the AI do the work for you to get the answers that you want.
That's awesome. And another kind of related question is from a LinkedIn user. Thanks for the question. So what's the source of the content, Josh?
Yeah, so the source of the content, we tell everyone, think of AI engine as like a brain. We train the brain to look at two things. First, what market are you in? How do they buy goods and services and really understand the AEC space? But really that second half of the brain that helps generate the content is your knowledge base. And again, whatever that may be. We pass proposals, presentation docs, things like that. The engine needs to learn that, or else you're going to be really upset with the output. Meaning we've all clicked without resource documents and have seen a chat tool run us a very generic, basic answer, right? And you're like, this isn't great. I can't use this. What we want is to have that knowledge base to build on and then use it as you respond to things. And again, you companies with 10, 20, 30 years of history, that's fantastic. That all feeds in. It looks and feels like you. What used to be a one voice editor for companies and things like that, now you can do it inside tools like this.
Awesome. Yeah. And Josh, could you talk a little bit about, one of the things that is kind of just part of the conversation for AEC and the use of AI is, is this like publicly sourced, is it just coming from like random places on the internet, or is it kind of more of a privatized enterprise setup?
Great question, Lucas. The biggest thing for us is the security of your data. We don't want it to go to a master LLM and mix with customer data or train anything, especially all your years of knowledge. So every organization sits in a secure containerized instance where their data never leaves or goes anywhere without their permission. We think that's a big paramount piece when you look at AI tools, because again, you guys have worked decades about building, your brand and what you do. To give that away, is not worth the risk. So everything Unanet does on the proposal AI side is secure, containerized environment where it learns from you and continues to train on your data as it grows and you respond to more opportunities.
Awesome. So Hannah wants to know, Josh, and I know the answer is yes, but are there any other kind of features in this? And she references things like tracking win rate. I know we just had time to touch on a couple things, but could you just kind of do like a just quick, click through of a couple other items?
Yeah, absolutely. So there is, of course, the ability to track the win rate in here. I'd say this is where kind of Unanet's growth ecosystem becomes really, really good. With the Unanet CRM, this plays really nicely inside of there, where we track metrics like that on top of just proposal-specific ones. So answer is yes, Hannah, you can track at the proposal level, but also inside that Unanet CRM, you can track at the pursuit level. So it's like, hey, we put this in the queue, we've run this through, we've gone through the stages. What's that win rate look like? Absolutely. And all this data feeds back and forth to those right pieces.
Awesome.
Got a couple other questions. I don't know if we want to bang those out, Lucas. And of course, for all those people, I know we've got, obviously a time block here, but we'll be mindful of, please follow up with us. We're more than happy. I'm very active on LinkedIn or on a LinkedIn Live. Shoot me a direct message. I'm more than happy to talk through this. I think it's a learning thing for everybody as tools come out and kind of the expertise becomes more democratized, and we'd love to talk about these things as we improve our product and get feedback from the market.
Awesome. I think Robert's question we kind of addressed, but essentially it is held secure. It's a great question. Gosh, I see some more coming in here. Let's see. We'll have to follow up with some of these because we're running short on time. But let's see if maybe we can fit in one more here. Okay, here's a good one from Tracy. Is this module that we added? Yeah, go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, absolutely. So the answer is yes, Tracy. We're literally in the integration right now between the CRMs and this tool. So you can simply, your data flows in, you respond, it flows back out, updates fields as you need it. And yes, it is a built-in cost to the overall subscription. And we'd have to understand kind of what do you have CRM wise versus things like that. But absolutely sits inside that ecosystem, can be bought together or separate. And for all current Unanet customers, we welcome the opportunity to let you guys try it out, as you're evaluating these things.
Awesome. Well, great questions, everybody. Love the interactions. And like Josh said, we're happy to follow up with people if you want to reach out to us individually. Happy to start a dialogue there and respond to other questions that you might have. But otherwise, again, I guess in summary, like we love what we see in the market within AEC. We love the growth mindset. We love coming alongside of our customers to help them, again, do more with less, particularly in the areas that they're most focused on, which in the current place and time is really focused on BD and marketing, which is exciting. So again, thanks for joining us, Josh. Thanks for walking us through Proposal AI and all of like the just truly exciting things that we're kind of bringing to bear here. And thanks everyone else for joining us. I'll give you the last word, Josh.
Yeah, just reiterate what Lucas said. Appreciate you guys all coming on here, and please keep sending us the questions. We're here for it. We're learning as you guys are and building tools around it. So all the insight that you guys are, looking for, we welcome to have those conversations to keep building the knowledge base as a community here.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone.